So in continuation to our previous session, that is how to start a small business and what are the things that must be assumed to work upon, we move on further to the next issue that is important enough to be learned, that is raw material or market side. We need to update ourselves. We need to have full knowledge about the raw material that is required and the market side. So when we are launching a small business, determining whether to focus on raw material or market size, it is heavily influenced by the nature of the firm, available resources, and the entrepreneur's strategic objectives. So here is a breakdown of each approach. First is a focus on raw material, and the other is focus on the market size. There are two approaches that is to be followed. So when we focus on raw material, the benefits are while we are focusing on raw material, it allows more control over the product quality and sourcing. Uh, Using a unique or high quality raw material can set your items apart or distinguish your product from others, from other competitors, and your product will be quite different from the others who are supplied by others in the market. And another benefit is that direct sourcing of raw material can save cost, even when negotiating favorable terms with suppliers. For example, maybe if you have a bakery, so the bakery sources excellent organic flour directly from the local farmers. You are cost effective in this case. Or maybe if there is a furniture producer then that uses salvaged wood from sustainable sources. This way, they can save the cost also, they can negotiate well, and they can also have a good quality in their production. And the next is focus on the market size. While we are focusing on the market size, if we are focusing on the market side, then the benefits here are that selecting a location with significant foot traffic or accessibility to your target market will help draw consumers more quickly. Because you understand the market and you're focusing on that, so you know how to attract more and more consumers in shorter time. Convenience for customers located in a significant market location, it makes it, it is convenience for customers because located in a significant market location, it is easier for them to find and buy your products or services. Because they are close by and the products and services are sold within the vicinity, it is easier for them. Next benefit is that market venues offer opportunities for networking with other competitors, other potential partners, other firms also. So maybe if you focus on the market side, you will get already established customers. You will have the like businesses, similar businesses in that locality, which will be easier for you to keep pace with them. For example, maybe opening a boutique clothes business, a boutique in a very popular maybe shopping area where all other textiles and clothing vendors are already existing. Or maybe if you are opening a food stall at a prominent outdoor market. So there also it is, there you can have similar vendors where you can keep check on the quality, you can know of the prices, the cost, etc. So whatever you are focusing on, whether you start with focusing the raw material or the market side, there are certain considerations that must be made. To begin with, the first consideration should be, that is, you should be knowing your target audience preferences. That is very important. Knowing your target audience preferences and behavior, which will guide your selection. Once you understand them, then you know what to decide and what to select. If your target clients, they value convenience and accessibility, maybe market side focus may be more appropriate. A raw material focus may be ideal if they value quality and originality. Then maybe you can go and focus on the raw material, more on raw material. Similarly, you consider the business strategy you intend to use. Providing distinctive product from carefully selected raw material, while others benefit from substantial exposure and maybe crowd in the market location. That can be taken into consideration. Next consideration should be assess your resources, including your finance. The first thing, how much money you have in your hand, your knowledge, and network connections. This can assist in determining the viability of each strategy. With these factors, with these variables rather, that is finance, knowledge and your network, you can always determine the viability part. And the last consideration that must be taken into, assess the competitive landscape in your industry and location. What competitors are existing around you. So understanding your competitors' strength and weakness will always help you to guide your decision making, which what to focus on. So after once you have to take into consideration these points before deciding that what where will you focus on. So finally, the option to focus on raw material or the market side should be consistent with your overall business strategy, market demand and long-term goals. In other circumstances, maybe a combination of both tactics may be appropriate depending on your small business type and market opportunities. So this was raw material or market side. Next is enterprise location. This is also something very important that must be taken into consideration. Here, choosing the ideal location is important. It is very important because that can significantly impact the success of your business. If you just establish at a wrong place, establish your business in a wrong location, in a wrong place, maybe you are going to suffer. And if it is severe, then maybe it leads to a closure. So we have to be very careful while deciding the location. Various factors influence the choice of location and its significance varies by the type of business. So here are few essential reasons why enterprise location should be carefully considered. So here we have the first point that has to be considered, that is, we must access the target market. We must access the target market, that is we must have access to the target market, that is proximity to the target market is very important. Being close to your customers can lower transportation expenses obviously and improve accessibility. It will be much more easy and convenient for both of you, especially for retail or service oriented enterprise. Next, we have the factor that has to be considered is the cost and overhead. That is, the cost of doing business varies greatly, depending upon the geography. Rent, utility, and labor cost may vary from area to area in different cities or different regions. So, choosing a location with favorable cost structures can improve your overall profitability. You must do some homework or survey or research in finding out that where you will be more benefited or where you will be more cost effective. Next factor to be taken into consideration is supply chain efficiency. For manufacturing or distribution companies, location near suppliers, transportation hubs, or critical supply chain component can help streamline operations, minimize lead time, and lower logistic costs. So these have to be taken into consideration. We have to also check the competitive environment, because understanding the competitive landscape is critical. Being close to competition allows for allows for easier benchmarking and staying up to date on industry development. It might also help to have a business presence in a region known for a specific industry. For example, we find leather industry concentrated in Kanpur, or leather footwear industry concentrated in the city of Agra. So here it is more convenient, because concentration here leads to easy availability of raw material and specialized labor and other factors or resources that are required. And there is a very strong competitive environment also, which helps you to keep updated. You don't have to go far to update yourself what is happening in the market. And then next factors that is important is regulatory and legal consideration. Regulatory and legal consideration. Here different regions, they may have distinct regulatory regimes and legal requirement. Choosing a site that meets your company's demand and conforms with applicable legislation is critical or important for effective operations. Next factor that has to be taken into consideration is the workforce availability and skill. That is too important, because without this you cannot continue the daily running of processing of your goods and services. So you have to have access to a competent and qualified staff, which is very important, or I should say rather necessity of any business. You have to consider the availability of talent in the chosen location and whether the local labor has the necessary capabilities for your business operations. We also have to consider the infrastructure and amenities, because infrastructure availability such as transportation network, utilities, transportation networks, utilities and communication facilities can impact the corporate efficiently. Consider the amenities in the neighborhood that can improve employees' satisfaction and well-being. That has to be taken care of. Next factor that should be considered is the market trends and the demographic. Demographic means the age group, the gender, the qualified people that live around, and what is happening in the market. Because analyzing the market trends and demographics in various areas will help you to locate areas with growing demand for your products or services. Understanding the local client base is critical to business success. So that is very important, that your local client base should be developed in a very strong way and consistent way also. That will keep a consistency in running your business and earning profits. Next factor that has to be taken into consideration is the risk and resilience, that is assessing the risk variables linked with the particular region, such as natural disaster or economic insecurity is very important. Planning for resilience and implementing contingency plans can help to mitigate the potential threats, minimize the risk, I would rather say. So we have to work on the risk, we have to understand the risk, we have to prepare ourselves to meet the challenges, we have to be resilient in our work. And then we have last variable that should be taken into consideration is the government incentives. Some regions provide incentives or tax reduction to attract the firms. Some example, I would say that maybe we have the northeastern belt. In order to promote more industrial development, there are tax incentives, there are tax holidays. There are some in particular nature of industry where the government wants to promote that industry. Again, we have tax holidays and tax incentives. In terms of region and locality, we have maybe hilly areas where people are more reluctant to establish themselves. There also we have these tax holidays. So here researching and taking advantage of such government schemes and initiatives, incentives, it can favor your company's financial performance. So why don't we take advantage of that? So before establishing, these are some of the important points or important factors that should be considered while deciding the location of our business. So here the steps is the important steps that you must be following one by one is, first you selection of the region, then the selection of the locality or community where you want to run your business, start your business and run it, and then selection of the exact site, and after that selection of the optimum site also. That is also very much important. So these are some of the factors that we discussed. Access the target market, cost and overhead, supply chain efficiency, competitive environment, regulatory and legal consideration, workforce availability and skill, infrastructure and amenities, market trend and demographics, risk and resilience, and government initiative. So we have learned that how the market location plays an important role in deciding how healthy your business would be and how profitable your business would be. So now we conclude this session. I would say that I would conclude this by saying that choosing a firm site is a multidimensional decision. Where we have already seen and learned that it requires a thorough examination of numerous criteria, as we have discussed just now. Here, each company will have different considerations, obviously, based on their industry, their target market, their objective, the nature of their operations, the nature of their products and services. They will have the different requirement, but through proper research and strategic planning, they can always make a very informed decision which would be consistent with the overall business strategy and objective. So you have various dimensions, but what dimensions are important for you, that has to be decided by you, taken into first, but before deciding, you will have to explore and explore and explore. So just to sum up everything what we have learned here, what are the steps that we have discussed to start a small business? First, you have to analyze yourself and your business objectives. Then you come up with your newer ideas, your what you are obsessed with, what you want, what you are passionate with. Then you will be consulting the agencies for registration. Then you will have to decide, and so on and on. So that is all that we do in this session. Thank you so much.